back to another video, guys. Today we are actually going to be getting into doing the downpipe. We're trying to make moves. Like I said, waiting on the postal service. Now they moved my fuel pressure regulator and my oil feed till Friday. So pretty much I'm just going to work on the downpipe today. We're going to get everything possibly done, and once this is done, literally all I would need to start up the car is the fuel pressure regulator and my oil feed. Technically I could start up the car without the turbo being attached, just to make sure everything runs good, and without having the oil feed attached as well. So I'm trying to be patient, but you know, I want to be done. I'm not gonna lie. Today we're gonna do the downpipe. I got everything bolted in, as you guys seen in the last video, so we're ready to kind of start mocking up the downpipe. I don't think I'm gonna weld anything today other than tack stuff. I would just like to get it put together, and then I gotta figure out some sort of vise or something to crush the pipe. I need an oval to fit in between the frame and, you know, the transmission and the transmission tunnel, just to get it to go to the back of the car. The other thing is, I've been having a hard time finding a nice Y pipe to go from the 4-inch to the dual 2.5s. So I may have to upgrade my catback as well, so that kind of sucks too. So I don't know what to do at the moment. Right now what I'm going to worry about is just getting the downpipe at least back seat. If I could get it a little bit behind the driver, that'd be great. So this is what I got to work with. You guys see all of that. That's what I have to work with. Now this is where the difficult part happens. So I trimmed this piece already. As you guys can see, I trimmed this. My ground will have to move a little bit, but I have to get back into there, and that's going to be the hard part. So I have it marked a little bit, and then my reducer will go this way, and then it's 4, and then down. But this part may be tricky. I may have to do something a little different with my heater lines. I may be using some brass lines like home fittings to endure the heat. Obviously this is going to have a turbo blanket, and this is also going to be heat wrapped, but just don't want to melt any of these kind of things. What you guys don't really know either is I moved the engine harness from the original power harness was down in here. I ran it under the frame to here, and that's what we got now. So now I just got time to mount my downpipe, but it's gonna take some finessing, I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna cut this angle here. We're gonna do the reducer into the 4-inch and then 4-inch back. Quick little tack. Okay, I got the angle cut and I got it tacked. Now I just gotta measure. I'm gonna get my tape measure and measure out how far I need to go, and then I'm gonna cut the pipe for that length. And then I'm also gonna go ahead and cut for the my wideband O2 sensor. I'm not gonna lie, it would be so much easier if I just went through the roof or the hood or whatever, but that's just not me. I know it'd be super annoying for me to drive around on a regular basis, so but yeah, if you guys decide to do this, you gotta have hella patience. So if you don't have patience, this is not for you, especially if you're gonna fab up your own single turbo kit. Patience is a virtue because there's a lot of little intricate kits. Patience is a virtue because there's a lot of intricate cuts and things to do. Now, granted, I do not have all the fabrication tools that would make this even easier. The fact that I'm doing this by hand and, you know, just trimming stuff down to fit, and then, you know, filling up whatever gaps I have with weld, you know, it makes up the difference. But like I said, if you're not patient, this is kind of a difficult thing to do. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into it. We're gonna cut this thing out, and then we're gonna test fit this. All right, guys, I ran into a mad dilemma. But I fixed the dilemma, I think. But this is where it's gonna get really interesting. I had to trim back the ABS module, not the module, but where it mounts to, the bracket, even some more than what it was before. So I cut this little piece out here. I kept my ground, and now I was able to fit my tube in here, but it's still gonna be tight AF. So it's still going to be super tight. In all honesty, it would really be beneficial if I did an ABS delete, but I don't want to go through all of that and moving the lines and all of that at this moment. Maybe in the future I'll do that, but right now it's really, really tight. So to fit stuff in here is gonna be difficult. But I have the space, it just, yeah, it's just tight, and now I just gotta figure my way around it. Pop, what do you think?
I think it's a good deal, man. I think you did a good job. You got just a little bit more to go.
Yeah. So that is the unfortunate part about this whole downpipe, is making it fit through there, but that's why everybody's like, hood exit. Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna get it. So I pretty much fit this guy in here. Now I just gotta throw a tack on it. That's how it would run, and then probably V-band it right where it ends here, and then worry about doing the curve from the bottom up. All right, we got it tacked into place. So this is how I need to run it. This guy needs to get some sort of ovaling, and then also I need to heat wrap some of these lines and everything so nothing gets burnt up, I don't lose brakes or anything because of the heat of the downpipe. But this is pretty much where I need to connect to. Okay, so this is where we're at. I need to get this piece right here down in there. What I could do actually is, see this guy here, I could actually flatten this guy out, and then that'll actually give me another inch, about an inch, inch and a half, inch and a quarter of space. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make my own little safety, yeah, my own little safety strap there, brace. I don't really know what to call that, but yeah, this is what we got so far. I got the O2 bung welded in. I got the transition. It goes nicely under my ABS module. It's not hitting on either side, which is really nice. The only thing I'd be concerned with is my heater lines, which I'm going to do a brass fittings here, and then that should alleviate that. A brass under there and an L here, so then any kind of heat coming from the turbo is really not going to affect anything. I also figured out a solution how to tie into the catback, which will be real cool. So hopefully I could do that in the next video. But so far we're just figuring out the downpipe. Downpipe is not nearly as bad as what I thought. It just takes some thinking. Once you can figure out the thinking portion of everything, just actually doing the work is not too bad. Alright guys, so where I left off yesterday is I was working on the downpipe, and then I had a homie who said he had a oil feed that I didn't even have to weld or do anything, so, or oil drain. So I actually went and got that. I already installed it, unfortunately I didn't film it, but it is what it is. We got it. So we got this guy right here ready for the turbo. And I ran out of wire for my welder to keep fabbing up the downpipe, so I'm actually going to go get some wire. I'm also going to get a rubber grommet. I remember I was telling you guys that I was going to mount the IAT sensor in the intake. I'm actually going to do it into the charge pipe, and then I'm going to use some of this. Let me show you what I got. Some of this. We're going to use Ultra Black gasket maker, RTV pretty much. And also we're going to use a grommet, so then it seals nice and tight. We get no kind of boost leaks. As I said, the goal for the car is to stay 15 psi and below. Hopefully we could just do that 15 psi. It'd be real cool to see that on the gauge and have no issues. So the reason why I just didn't want to drill into my intake manifold, and yeah, that was the main reason. I just didn't want to drill into my intake manifold. I'd rather drill into the charge pipe, which is replaceable or fixable. Little update. What happened?
A lot. Where do I even begin?
So
This has a turbo build.
But why haven't I filmed?
Why haven't you filmed?
Mm-hmm.
Because you've been rushed.
Yeah. But why have I been rushed?
Because my car decided to break down at the most inconvenient time ever. Like, this car is like it was worse. Like, now this is like all apart. And well, now it's together, but it was all apart. And then my car decides to break. My steering, what's it called?
The rack and pinion.
Yeah. What?
The rack and pinion?
Yeah, that went out. So like I was driving, and then my car wouldn't like steer anymore. So I called Trey, like he went to get my car, brought it home, and then as he was fixing it, like the thing just like, what was the thing that like exploded?
The pinion seal blew out.
Yeah, it just blew out like on him. It was like everywhere, and so yeah, it's been a crazy time, but my part is in, so now he was rushed to finish this, and yeah, he's just been rushed.
And then it's taken 2 weeks to get my parts in, and so like I didn't really get any work done.
I know, but it's looking so good, and yeah, it's looking really good.
So yes, I've been cranking away at this. I just got the oil feed and oil drain line. I installed it already. I did all kinds of stuff already. I got a lot of the downpipe already finished. I kind of filmed that a little bit beforehand, but yeah, her car broke. So she actually had been borrowing my mom's car, and I have to hurry to get this out of the garage so she could go ahead and drive. So
I know, it sucks. He has to fix my car now.
Yeah, so as soon as I could get this started up and pulled out of the garage, then her car, I have to get to work on her car. So I made the sacrifice of not filming what I was doing so I could crank a lot of this out. So pretty much all the charge pipe is done, intercooler's installed, turbo's installed, oil feed, oil drain is installed. All that's really left is to install the radiator and the radiator fans. Once I do that, I'm gonna start it up and pull it out of the garage. Granted, it's not tuned or anything. I'm not gonna drive it. It's just literally going out of the garage, hers coming in, and then I could go ahead and dial in the rest of the little fine tuning pieces before I take it to get tuned.
Yeah, so. Well, it's been a crazy 2 weeks for sure. So
yeah, that's why you guys haven't seen a video in 5 days. I just been working, and then working my job, and then come home working on the car, doing everything I possibly can. I had another mishap too. The fuel lines that I had bought, I got the whole fuel system plumbed up and everything, and then they leaked everywhere when I tested the system. So I ended up having to use my factory fuel line, which I wasn't super pleased about. So the factory fuel line is limited to about 700, which is my goal, but I didn't want to push it that far. So the other fuel system was rated to 1,000. So now I'm taking a step back, at least until I could get the other fuel rails replaced. So for now, we're just going to run the factory LS2 fuel lines, and then I still have the regulator hooked up to it with a -8 feed and a -6 return, and yeah. So right now we only have a 10-pound spring in the wastegate and lots more work to do. So we're gonna get cranking again. Isn't she beautiful? Look at, she's all in a dress.
Helping him wrench stuff.
Yeah, she helped me do the wastegate springs because right now I don't have a vise, so I had to manhandle and squeeze it, and then she put in the screws for me, so that was awesome. We're gonna get her
like a full-on mechanic already.
We're gonna make her do some work out here. She's gonna learn how to weld and everything. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
You excited?
Oh, and I also found out that turbos have blankets.
Mm-hmm. Show 'em.
That's so cute.
If you guys noticed this kink, this wasn't here before, but then I tied the line back. So now I gotta run to Home Depot and get a quick little L here, so then it straightens this out. But yeah, she's looking at the...
I've never seen this.
Well, you haven't really been around turbo cars too much, so...
Yeah, that's true. I only see like superchargers and stuff like that, but this is crazy to me. It's just
the
cute.
turbo blanket.
It's so cute. It's nice. Like, it's looking super clean, and like you can just work it on it. Like,
you gotta learn how to drive this car, right?
oh my god, I'm scared.
Alright guys, this is pretty much what it's going to look like from now on. All I have left to do is to button up my radiator and the fans, and then schedule the tune. Actually, there's a couple other things. I do have to finish the vacuum portion of the towel wastegate. There's a couple things I didn't know, so I went on Tile's website to kind of figure that out. So I'm super tired, but I know this video is long overdue. I've been working non-stop on this thing, trying to do all the odd and end stuff. I did get it started, so you guys will see a clip here shortly of that. And then just to kind of check to see fuel pressure and all that, I did raise it up to a base pressure of 58 like factory. But I did want to run it at a base pressure of 43. We'll see what the tune says. I know since it has slightly bigger injectors and everything, that may be a little different. We may change that once we go to tune the car, but everything works. So I'm super excited. Oil feed, everything works. I'm just, you know, I'm tired. So if you guys are gonna go any kind of turbo setup on your car, on your GTO or whatever, it's the small stuff that gets you. The big stuff is easy. That, you know, I did the fabrication pretty quick. But it's going to doing your oil feed, oil drain, that kind of stuff, running new fuel lines, especially if you're picky like I am. How I ran it was as good as I could do it, and try to tuck everything away, and then you run into issues. You guys get the idea. But I hope this update really inspires some of you guys.
It's the time for games and it's the time to kill. Make up your mind.